difference between the team you're talking about and difference between the task force that they already have implemented with multi county, Chesterfield or Fairfield and Chester? They're part of that. Is there any difference than what you're talking about?
That's a really good question. What I wish to do is with the task force that they may have now, narcotics, I would like to get crime investigators, criminal investigators involved with it as well, and patrol. Now, what I want to do, I think that the narcotics are doing a great job. They are. But what I want to do is with the zero tolerance task force, we're going to tackle different crime trends in the county, not just narcotics. Now, don't get me wrong, that is definitely a major issue here. But I want to be able to develop a team that really hits hard on different crime trends in the county. And that this way we're able to actually work with on a state level, DNR hopefully, Highway Patrol. We can work with federal agencies, and I know that we already have some of that in place. But I think basically this is more or less for all crime trends and not just narcotics. And I think a collective, collaborative effort between the investigators would be great.
Right. No, I got you. I understand. I do stuff at the sheriff's office up there. And a lot of things I hear about why don't we have this and unit and stuff, I also tell them they don't have the manpower,
Right.
They have traffic units, CID there. So, I mean, it's like you say, and investigators have run CID sometimes, narcotics and everything else.
Yeah. And I agree with you. There's so many opportunities. And again, that's one of the reasons I love where I'm at right now is the opportunities that are available to deputies and officers who wish to come on. I mean, it's literally unlimited. And that's why I would like to be able to give the deputies that we have here in Union an opportunity to be able to go and better themselves, to be able to learn new skills, to be able to go and train. So again, we don't place all the eggs in one basket. You have somebody else that can step in once me or any of these other deputies that have been there for a while to take those leadership roles once we're out of it.
All right.
Kevin,
I appreciate it, Sean.
thank you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you,
man.
sir. Thanks, Kevin.
All right, you're on the show with Kyle and the KC show with Mike and
Hello.
Mr. Thom McAbee. Go ahead with your question.
Hey, good evening, y'all. Glad y'all are on tonight. Tom, hey, this is Dave Kraft, and I'm out here on 105 at the pig farm. I just had a quick question for you.
Absolutely.
Hey, bud. Hey, first of all, let me just say I've enjoyed your vision, and congratulations on jumping in the race. I think you got some good ideas there, and I've enjoyed it. Quick question. What are your thoughts on helping to make Union County a Second Amendment sanctuary county?
Well, I'm here to tell you something. When it comes to the Second Amendment, I don't budge on that. And that's just the way it is. I believe in the Second Amendment, and I believe in the right to bear arms, and that's just the way it is. That's where I stand. When I made the decision, and trust me, I caught flack about this, there were individuals like, what are you doing running as a Republican? Why aren't you running as a Democrat? Now, listen, I'm going to tell you right now that I don't believe in partisan politics when it comes to local races, but I will tell you this. I am not and will not use any political party or political stance to gain your vote. I am a Republican, and I believe in these things. Now, I'm moderate, absolutely, and I think things are left up to discussion. But when it comes to the Second Amendment, I believe in the right to bear arms, and that's it.
Any constitutional right, I should be,
Yes.
should be always on
Off
number
the
one
books.
priority.
Yeah. I mean, it's an built for debate.
Amen.
Well,
Amen. I agree 100%. So you would be behind that if should it come up?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. That's the way I stand. And like I said,
Great.
that's the way I feel about it.
I don't see it being an issue for the next 5 years.
yeah,
I don't
no.
either.
No.
But we'll address
Great.
that. We'll address that head on when that comes. And I promise you, I won't be the only sheriff that'll address that. I promise you, throughout the state, sheriffs will get together and we'll talk about that.
Well, thank you for
that
your
sounds great.
thank you
Thanks
for your question,
thanks for
brother.
your answer, Tom. I appreciate it. Best of luck, and I need to find out where I can get a sign to put on my lawn.
There
God
you
bless
go.
you. We'll get in contact with you. Thank you.
Good deal. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Oh, lost that one. As soon as I went to switch over, there we go. This is Kyle with the KC show.
And Mike,
And Mike.
Kyle,
What's up, brother?
what you doing, man?
Oh, man, just running the show. What's going on? You got a question for Mr. Thom?
Yeah, if I understood correctly, when he done his thing at the courthouse, he was his investigators and stuff like that more than utilizing SLED, and I agree with that. There's no need in having them if you're not going to utilize your sources you have. But can he explain to some, because I had a couple people that asked me, well, how can he do that? Could Thom maybe explain to them how and why he feels the reason to utilize his own people versus SLED? I mean, I know it saves time and stuff like that and everything, but some people's not understanding why. And could he maybe explain a little bit to them as to what he means and why he means it, or says, that that's what he wants to do?
Absolutely. That's a great question, and I'll answer it for you. If I've got investigators in place, that means I trust them to do their jobs. 100%. I think that investigators not just patrol, but investigators need to be able to go and train and do things that we don't necessarily have to call SLED in to do. For example, okay, I work in crime scene investigations. I'm a crime scene investigator. Why are we calling SLED up here to dust for fingerprints, to look for latent prints? Why are we having them here to collect DNA? Our investigators could do that. And when I'm sheriff, our investigators, I'm actually going to get rid of that. I'm sorry. That's something I'm going to implement. We're going to have detectives. Our detectives are going to be able to do that in-house. We don't have to constantly call SLED in to help investigate. And I'm not saying that happens all the time. Don't get me wrong. But I think that we have really good investigators here. Utilize them. Utilize them. Let them do their job.
And that was my thing, because that's what as taxpayers pay for, to get them the schooling for investigations and all, and latent prints and stuff like that is some of the stuff that they study on when they're there to get their degree in investigations and all.
Yes, sir. And let me make this perfectly clear. This is not a knock at what's currently there. It's not. I want to make that perfectly clear. This is my vision. This is my foundation for what I'm going to do. This is a new direction. I'm building new. I'm not rebuilding. I'm sorry. Things that are broken and just aren't working, I'm not piecing that back together. Right. It's time for something new. And again, I don't want anyone to take that as a swipe. It's not. It's what I see and what I want to do.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, we appreciate you, Kenny.
Buddy. I think you answered it pretty good, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kenny.
Thank you for calling.
All right, buddy.
All right, brother.
All right.
This is Kyle with the KC Show, and Mike, and you got a question for Mr. Thom? Go ahead.
Yes, sir, Mike and Mr. Thom. This is Jared Smith from the Kelton community. My question is, are you willing to bring African Americans on and promote from within, possibly captain or your chief deputy?
That is absolutely correct. Let me tell you what I've got planned, okay? First off, I want to say that I think the sheriff's office needs a little more diversity. That is just my opinion, and I think that is something that needs to be addressed. Number two, I can tell you right now that I already have a plan in place to bring a chaplain on board to the Union County Sheriff's Office. I think that not only does it benefit the deputies, it benefits all employees, not just inside of a traumatic incident, a shooting incident, anything of that nature. This is something that needs to be extended to families as well. I can tell you again from personal experience, we're not going to go down that path, but that would have been great to have been afforded to me years ago. I think that that's good for any department, and we most definitely need that in my vision and in my sheriff's office once we take that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
sir.
much. Appreciate that.
And hey, Kelton,
yes, sir.
We appreciate y'all listening.
Okay.
Thanks for calling.
I love the Kelton community. Awesome.
This is Kyle. You got a question for Mr. Thom? Go ahead.
Oh, hi, Kyle. How are you?
All right. About yourself?
Good. Mr. McCabe. Is it McCabe or McAbe?
You can call me whatever. I'm good. You can call me Thom. I promise you, it's fine. You can call me Thom.
Okay, Thom. I have three things that I am very concerned about. The very first thing is, number one, your department or the department you want to work for does not have an audit system. Because of the previous things that have happened in Union County Sheriff's Department, the first thing your department needs is to be audited by an independent agency. Is that going to be something that you will implement?
I am not closed-minded to anything. And the reason for it is this. Getting into office, you have to understand. Getting into office, you have to understand exactly where you are in budget. They're not just going to offer you that right off the bat. I literally have to get in there and see what we have. I honestly believe that there needs to be transparency and there needs to be more responsibility as far as the money and the budget is concerned. Because I see your concern in that, and I have the same ones. And like I said, once I get in there, we're going to be able to take a better look at that.
Well, that would be good, and it would also be good if you say you're transparent, that you would publish these things in periodicals in the county to show how you spend your budget, what it goes for, because the people, the constituents here, are very concerned about spending and where that money goes, simply because of all the problems of the past. So that is definitely putting a foot in the right direction to gain the confidence of the voters here that, you're willing to show how your budget is spent. Secondly, a second concern of mine is, of course, drug issues and community policing, which seems to work well in larger cities. They have federal programs such as Coffee with a Sheriff and things like that. Which is important. Okay, so I'm hoping that maybe you have a plan for that. And the third thing, and I'll get off, is intervention, drug intervention, which has been a huge issue here. I still find it very, very, this county doesn't, if you want to go to a drug program, I know that they do have one, which is only for men. I hope that changes soon. But,
I agree with that.
Programs like AA, NA, these are free programs. They can be implemented. Now, it's my understanding they did have it here at one time. But, these things have to be worked with the courts, where people, are referred to these programs for, so many meetings. You have to have more intervention in this county regarding drug use. So those are my three concerns. I'm hoping that maybe you can speak on it, and that's all I got to say.
All right, thank you so much. I'm going to hit on this real quick. The second question that she had was community policing and how we would be able to talk about the drug issue. Well, I am going to tell you I will be a sheriff that's going to make sure that the deputies are getting out in the community. I want to see them out about more. I want to see them out of the cars. I want to see them shaking hands, talking to folks. I really do. Now, talking about drug outreach, as if you didn't hear the speech this morning, I am going to be bringing back the DARE program. That is coming back to Union County schools if they'll have it, also Union Day School. Any charter schools that wish to come out, that's something that's happening if they'll invite us. I think that that's something that is needed, also to educate parents not only on that, but also on the gang activity we're having here in Union. Also, the dangers of social media. Now, we're talking about students that I've heard, children in the county that are having issues with Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. Those things need to be addressed. Now, number three, the third question. I think that not only we can lock individuals up for drugs all day long. Okay, we can. What's the end game? The end game is if somebody wants help, help them get help.
Yeah.
If they want to do better and they want to do well, make sure we get it for them. And I'm going to see what we can do to make sure that happens.
Yeah, because it seems like now it's all about the money. It's like an assembly line. They're handing out reprimands, coming in, you pay, you fine, you're out. You come back in, you pay, you fine, you're out.
And where does it get you? That's what I'm saying. If you've got an individual that wishes, like I said, it is what it is. Drugs are always going to be a problem. Yep. You might as well throw that out there on the table, all right? Yep. Drugs in small communities, drugs in large communities, you're going to have it. And the best way to combat it is take it head on, take it to them. However, if you've got individuals that do want help, do what you can to help them out. Right. Let's find them some help.
All right. Well, we got somebody on the line. Go ahead and get your questions. Sorry about that. There's so many people calling. We're trying to get to everybody.
Thanks for the wait.
Thank you for waiting. Go ahead with your question.
Okay, Kyle. It's Lynn.
Hey, Lynn.
Listen, I want to know more about what he was talking about. I mean, he's got a precious life, and with all due respect, more about what he's talking about his past.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm gonna interject. He actually made the statement that they was only gonna address that once. And they said what they wanted, so he's already stated he isn't going to talk about that anymore.
And I will say this. That's what I'm going to say this, Miss Lynn. and that's going to be it. She is my best friend. And this is a personal matter that no one, honestly, again, is a perfect individual. And that would be a hard thing. I wish I was perfect, but I'm not. Actually, I don't wish I was perfect. That would be a hard job to do. I've made my mistakes in the past. I have. And I've apologized to the individuals that deserve those apologies. And I'm not going to have the proverbial $10 bill held over my head. No. You have to move on. and like I said, we are the best of friends. And that's exactly where we are and where we want to be. And what happens next, that's up to us, not to Union County.
Okay, well, who said that I was even, like I said, again, all due respect, that I was even referring to your many women?
The many
I was
women.
referring to all your many jobs that you've had. Mm-hmm. I did my research. I mean, you changed jobs several times. Mm-hmm. You never stay anywhere long.
Yeah, this is a troll question.
I mean,
yeah, that's it. That's a troll question.
Yeah, I mean,
that ain't how you portrayed your question.
Lynn, I think I know what you're saying. You know, he says he has. You said he's had many jobs, but he actually talked about, he's changed departments due to the way he felt that it was being run. Listen, guys, I'm going to come to the defense for him just for a second, because he had the vision to see where the Union County Sheriff's Department was heading, and he got out. And look at them right now. They're in turmoil. They have no leadership. We've got a county council now we got a dictator sitting, trying to take control of our county sheriff's department, because he's saying that there's no accountability there. And so the fact that he was able to say, well, I see this right here, I see where this is going. And he got out. If that's what you're talking about, I mean, it's sometimes each job, you can see things that maybe from an outside person, you're not going to see. But this one right here, fortunately, has shown everybody exactly what he's seen, but he was able to see it a little bit more earlier than us and a little bit more up close with us. Because let me tell you something, the turmoil is not over with Union County right now. There are stories brewing right now of some heavy hitters that are right now, it's going to be investigated by SLED. I mean, this is not over. It's far from over. So I just wanted to say that part, because, I mean, he even mentioned it at the beginning, but if that's what you're talking about,
they said that,
what I was referring to is not just Union County. I mean, he's changed several jobs several times. And I mean, I'm just saying, like, again, I said.
Well, how long have you been with Spartanburg County?
It's 2 years now.
2 years.
Absolutely.
Okay.
He mentioned earlier, and people are going to say he was a gypsy cop, but he didn't switch offices because of problems.
In lieu of misconduct.
Yeah. Right.
That's the very definition of one. And like I said, Miss Lynn, that is a good question, if that's the question. The reason I did that was so that you're able to become a more well-rounded officer. You wish to further yourself, and you want to learn to become a better leader. Everything that I did was to make sure that one day I could come home and bring that back here to the sheriff's office, because, again, I love my hometown. I love my community, and I couldn't watch any longer with what was going on here.
Well, thank you.
I understand that. I love, I've not got a thing against you, but have you gotten help yourself with a bipolar disorder?
Lynn, thank you, Lynn, thank you for calling. Listen, guys, before I go to the next call, this is what I'm talking about. That would be like somebody being on here and saying, have you done something for your blood pressure?
Well, she called, and her question, she said, no, I didn't ask about your many, she said in her question, what was you and your wife talking about in your past that you was going to keep personal?
I'll say this. Listen, Miss Lynn, thank you for listening. Thank you for calling in for your questioning. We can move on.
Yeah, I mean, it's just listen, I mean, I don't understand. At the end of that, what answers were you looking for if he has a bipolar disorder? What if he was sitting here with diabetes? What if he was sitting here with high blood pressure? What if he was sitting here, he's got gout? I mean, everybody has something, but to make it seem as if you've been with the sheriff's department in Spartanburg for 2 years, have you had any issues whatsoever with discipline or misconduct?
Absolutely not. My record is solid and clean. I mean, no discipline whatsoever. Yeah. And again, if there were ever any issues, a department such as great as that one, in my opinion, they would never take you on. Right. That's just my opinion. If you had those kind of issues, it's just not going to happen.
Well, and I appreciate it, Lynn. And we just got to, this is what we're talking about. We want to know about his experience, what he's planning on doing. And if he's had a past of misconduct in offices, I believe it would have appeared by now. But this could be a little route into maybe talking to Mr. Wright about the candidacy. But that'll be another time, another way. All right. Thank you for holding for so long. Thank you so much. This is Kyle. Go ahead if you got a question for Mr. Thom.
Yeah, this is Belinda Jett.
Hey, Melinda.
Hey, Melinda.
And I got one question. Okay, we have not heard anything else from Sheriff Taylor about the death of Jessica Ashmore. And I just wonder if you go in as sheriff, if you will go, check that out, because it seems like nothing is being done.
Okay.
No answers.
All right, Miss Melinda, let me say this, okay? I can't say, because I'm on the outside, what's going on with that. What I can tell you is this. When elected sheriff, I truly believe that we are going to be able to set up a cold case detective or two that is already in place, all right? I think that cold cases need to be picked up and they need to be looked at. And not only that, we need to follow through with these things.
Yeah.
These families are holding out hope to hear something. And you know what? We should too. We should take the responsibility of getting in contact with you. Why should I not get in my vehicle and go out and talk to these families and say, listen, we're still looking and we're doing everything we can. Yeah. Why? We have got to show. And I'm not saying that they're not. Again, I'm on the outside. I'm just telling you what I would do. There is no way that I would be able to go a month or two and not be able to tell individuals, hey, we are still digging, we know you're hurting, and we're looking for answers.
Yeah, because the family's been having to call in and ask, because they're not even going to them, because I know the family.
Yeah.
And they're not even trying to give them any kind of answers at all. The last thing that I heard, and they heard, was they did determine it was a homicide. Okay. And that's the last we've heard.
Okay. And again, Miss Melinda, again, I want to say that from the outside, I can't say what they're doing. What I can say is what I will do when elected. And in these cold cases, I promise you, we are going to do everything we can to make sure that we keep it alive, that we try to make sure that we continue to dig for answers.
Thank you so much for your call. Okay. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for holding.
Thank you.
Thank you, darling. Bye-bye. Thank you for holding. This is Kyle. You got a question for Mr. Thom?
Yes, this is Jonathan Wages. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. We can hear you. The creator of a page. How you doing, man? Go ahead.
I'm pretty good. How about y'all?
All right.
I know the morale around Union and towards the police force here with everything that's going on it went downhill. And I know that you, Thom, working with Sheriff Wright, everything up there, as you see people move out, they go up there and they love it. And of course, like you said, it's great. What would you do? What's your number one thing to make everybody here, their morale come back up?
I promise you, when the deputies see opportunity, you will see morale change. When they feel like they are being treated as employees and they feel like they're wanted here to help retain them, do what we can. Now, again, you can't always retain everyone. Let's be realistic. You're going to have individuals that leave, and I understand that. But, the one thing that should be asked before they say, hey, I can't do this, the one thing that should be done is say, what can we do? What can we do to make opportunities for you before you leave? At least ask. Again, if somebody's made their mind up, they've made their mind up. But just reach a hand out or at least ask a question. That's something that didn't happen with me. And, again, that's just the way it is. You boost morale that way. You do the small things and you treat them the way you would want to be treated in that position.
Right.
Well, we appreciate it. Did you have anything else?
I believe that's
All
it. I believe he answered my question great.
Thank you,
you,
brother.
sir.
Thank you for
Appreciate it.
holding.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye-bye. All right, this is Kyle with the KC Show. You got a question for Mr. Thom?
I do.
Hi, how are you? Go ahead.
Yes, I was just wondering if he was going to be a little bit more restricted on our repeat offenders. I think one of our main problems is that people are getting out right after they're getting locked up, and they're just repeating it.
Well, and I'm not answering for Thom by no means. I will tell you this, and I'm sure Tom's going to agree real quick. They are going to do their job if they see somebody breaking the law. But as far as punishment wise, that's on the court system. But go ahead, Thom. I'm sorry.
I was just wondering if maybe he had some kind of leeway that way to help us a little bit on that, because I think that's a lot. Union Act is so big.
That's true. And to answer that, let me say this: crime in Union is crime in Spartanburg, is crime in Greenville. We can go out here and we can hustle and we can lock up all these drug dealers, crime enterprises that are coming through Union, that are set up in Union all day long. And we can do a great job. Listen, I'm going to give credit where credit's due. John Sherfield has done an amazing job in the past. He's done an amazing job. You've got Roger Suber down in there right now, Jared Gilstrap, some good people. You got good people down there that are really working hard. And you can hustle. And I'm not just saying them, patrol as well, and investigators. You can get out there and you can hustle and you can hit it hard and you can lock these people up. But I'm going to tell you, there's nothing more disheartening than knowing you've locked someone up, and by the time you finish your shift, they beat you home.
Yeah.
And anyone listening that can hear the sound of my voice will tell you it is disheartening. However, that is a judicial system issue, and we can only do what the law will allow us to do, the fines, the time that they serve, things of that nature. At that point in time, once we make that arrest, it's out of our hands. And that's why we need to make the biggest charge, the hardest charge possible, and just get those big charges in there, and that way they get more time.
Making them stick, too.
Yes, ma'am.
Doing work and making them stick. Well, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, darling.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
And to kind of go on top of her question a little bit, one thing that has kind of been a factor, and it's not just Union, it's everywhere. It's about sometimes these cops going out and able to get a warrant, and there's not enough there to solidify, but that warrant is still, able to be retrieved. Now, again, that kind of more lands on the judge because they're the ones signing their name on the warrant. But, I feel like if a good sheriff comes in and says, if you're going to arrest somebody, if you're going to have a warrant signed on this person, you need to make sure that it is at least probable cause with some evidence.
Absolutely.
You can arrest somebody on probable cause and then build your case later on. But it seems like I'll tell you, I've been a part of it. It seems like sometimes it's just. Yeah. I want to arrest you to run your name, and then after we run your name in about 2 or 3 weeks, we'll drop the charges.
And to make sure that it's actual signed by a judge, because I have people come to me and say that was the patrol, the police officer's signature on the warrant. And I told them, I'm like, well, that's null and void,
I'm going to say this, okay? This is an old Monarch saying, and you can take it how you want to. I'm a Monarch boy. You can't make chicken salad out of chicken. You know what?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. And in the past, I've seen that.
Yeah.
And I think it's wrong. You make the charge you have, and that's it. When you try to trump something up, that's where you trip up, and that's where you lose something in the end. Yeah. If you've got a charge on somebody, don't try to build something you don't have, because at the end of the day, that will hurt.
About 15. All right. We got a call. Go ahead with your question. We're going to take about maybe 3 more calls. So we got one now and one on hold, and we'll take one more probably after. We'll go ahead with your question for Mr. Thom. Say it again. I think your phone's breaking up just a little bit.
Hello, how's everyone?
Yeah, your phone's breaking up. If you can get a little better signal, give us a call back. Sorry about that. Go ahead with your question for Thom. Go ahead.
Thanks, Kyle, for what you're doing. And I got a single quick question here for Thom. I just want to ask about him with our communications that we've got here, the SIN system. I know we got our 800 megahertz track trunking, and they used to be on VHF, and I think they were a little better on communications. I just don't think that 800 meg is working in this county. It's a pretty big county. Some parts of the county that they probably couldn't even communicate on. And what is your stance on it, and what are you looking at on it?
Listen, I got to be honest with you. I could sit here and lie to you and tell you that I know every single thing about the 800 radios. The truth is I don't. I don't want to give you a false answer. The fact is that I heard that there's a lot of complaints about the 800 radios amongst departments throughout the county, and that's something I could look into. Once that position takes place. But not only that, I think before it's time to hit the campaign trail, I'm going to learn a little more about that. I want to get out and talk to the volunteers, fire departments, EMS. I want to be able to get out there and learn a little bit more about this, but not just them. I also want to talk to deputies. I want to talk to the officers and find out what they've got going on with that.
All right. Was that all the question you have?
That's fine. I appreciate it.
All right.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
buddy. Thank you so much. This is Kyle with the KC Show. Go ahead.
Kyle.
Yes, sir.
What's up, brother? It's Stebbins.
This is who? I'm sorry. Stebbins, what's going on, Mr. James? You doing all right, brother?
Yeah, man, doing all right.
Wait a minute. Is this the Stebbins?
It is the James Stebbins.
This is the Stebbins.
It is him. Yes, sir. The famous.
Man.
The famous. James, what's going on, brother? What kind of question can we get for Mr. Thom here? I know you can stump him. Come on now.
We'll see if we can, man. First of all, Thom, it's been a long time, brother. I hope you're doing good.
Man, I'm doing great. It's so good to hear from you.
Hey, so I called her a little while ago, that lady. I don't know what her deal was, but I've always known Thom to be a great dude. But I tell you what, I will give you one question here, Thom. Now, I don't live in Union anymore, so I can't cast a ballot for you. But I couldn't think of anybody else I'd rather if I did. What called you to be a public servant?
I'll answer. I'm going to do something that's going to shock you as a candidate. I'm going to tell you the truth. This was something that came about because I obviously wanted a paycheck. That's it.
There you go.
That's it. I wanted a paycheck. This was a passion that developed after working with individuals that field trained me. And I'm going to put a name out there. Scott Ruby. There were others, Wendy Childers, Russell Vinson, people along the way that helped me out, that showed me how to do this job, how to approach people, how to talk to individuals. At the end of the day, I learned that anytime you get out on a call, I knew that I wanted to speak to that individual as if my grandfather were standing right next to me, or the sheriff was standing right next to me. So as time went on and I began to sharpen myself as an officer, the passion grew bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's why I left that single agency, is because I felt like I needed more opportunity to grow more. And I felt the calling to do that, just like I feel the calling to do this right now.
Yeah, we appreciate it. James, you got anything else there, brother?
That's pretty cool. Hey, guys, I'm pulling for you. Thom, if there's anything I can do, man, drop me a message, brother. Okay?
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you, James.
Thanks.
See you, brother.
Hey, Kyle, love you, bro. Bye, man.
Love you, man. See you.
Hey, Mike's on this show now.
Hey, no, Mike ain't
Hey,
that part of that. this is Kyle with the KC Show. Go ahead.
Hey, got a question for Thom. I'm just now tuning in to the Facebook live stream, and he may have already touched on this. I'm not quite sure, but Thom, I do have a question for you. If you do get elected to the position of sheriff, and I've heard a lot of people have concerns in the community. If one of your deputies or dispatchers or jailers, anybody that would be under your guidance and your control, come to you and say that they would like to further their training. We have the deputies that go through the Criminal Justice Academy, but there's other things that they can get certified in as far as defensive tactics and BA machines and things like that. What is your stance on that? And how would you go about letting other officers, jailers, whoever it may be, get the training that they would want to receive to try to better do their job?
That door is wide open for opportunity. I want to have a well-rounded department, period. I want all deputies to have something that they're willing to bring to the table, something they can help train other deputies on. I don't want to just send deputies or any employee, any dispatcher to training and them not be able to come back and help others within the department with what they've learned. I mean, it's all good to have certificates everywhere and I've got this and got that, but it means absolutely nothing if you can't contribute it to the people there in the department and help make them better.
All right, I think they went ahead and dropped off themselves. I appreciate that. Are you still here? Okay, good deal. I can tell. My phone's going off, man. It's going crazy. Was that all you needed to ask? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I surely did. Thom, you got my vote. I wish you best of luck.
Brother, thank you.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you, buddy. Take care. This is Kyle with the KC Show. Go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to know. This is Wendy, by the way.
Hey, Wendy.
Hey, Wendy.
Hey. I've noticed that a lot of our police officers do not have the training they need. They don't know the law like they need to, and they're making it up on the fly.
I really don't know how to answer that question.
What they're doing on the job?
Yeah, I really don't know how to answer that question, and here's why. Again, I'm on the outside from what's going on with the department.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can tell you with experience, in-service training and things of that nature, that is a must yearly. And I think that anytime you have a policy and procedure in place, one of the things they need to do is continue to sharpen up on the law, state law, and what it is they can charge individuals with. And I think that in-service training and more training for these deputies, that is a must.
For example, say you have a young adult, 17 to 19, walking, and they're in their own neighborhood. They're just, walking like kids do. Police will automatically pull them over, no reason. And when they're asked what they're being pulled over for, we got a call. There's been some break-ins. There's been no calls. There's been no break-ins. They just make it up. And then they start asking for IDs. Well, some of them don't have driver's license. They don't have IDs. They're not working. They're going to school. And they're automatically told, well, if you don't produce something, we're going to arrest you. We can take you to jail for this, for walking without an ID. And I've seen them do this kind of thing, and they literally don't know what the law is, and they make it up as they go.
Okay. So I'm sorry. What's your question?
My question is,
I want to be able to answer it for you.
Okay. My question is under your administration, would you automatically start retraining the office to make sure they knew exactly what is the proper procedure for doing things? Because you can't go around just threatening people and threatening to arrest kids for no reason and expect people to have a good community outreach. You can't. You can't treat people like that and expect them to respect you.
So I'm just going to presume here, okay? Your question is what would I do in a situation where there's a complaint that arises such as that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what I would do most definitely, it's going to be open door. We're going to take a look at that complaint and we're going to investigate it. One of the great things that we have at our disposal now are body cameras. And I'm here to tell you something. If there is an incident in my administration that happens and there is not body camera footage, you better have a good explanation for that. And that's where I'm going to leave that. And we'll handle it on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, well, just my thing is you can't have a good rapport with the citizens, and it could, things could be handled differently if they walked up to them. Hey, man, where you going?
Right.
You know,
So you're basically
okay
saying,
tonight?
you're basically saying you can't have a good relationship with your town if your deputies are out there harassing possible innocent people. That's basically what you're saying.
So let me tell you this: if that's the case, and I find that out, there will be consequences. I promise you.
And I don't think they're doing it maliciously. I just think that they really don't know that you can't do that to people because they've been taught.
And again,
by our sheriff, that it's okay.
Well, again, I don't want to go there against anyone, but I'm going to say this: if there's anything of that nature that takes place under my administration, it will be handled immediately.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
And that was my question. I appreciate you answering.
Thank you,
Yes, ma'am.
darling.
Thank you.
Thank you. This will be the last one right here, guys. This is Kyle with the KC Show. This is one we lost a little signal on a minute ago. You get it straightened out?
Yes, I did.
Okay, let's try to hear your question. Go ahead. Okay, yep. Your signal's just going in and out. I'm so sorry. But guys, great questions tonight. Oh yeah, let me get Mike back up there because he was our sound effect guy in the background. When he's not talking, he gets a little jealous. He'll be able to. Boop, 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 boop. I mean, he just. I don't think people can hear it, but I can hear it. And go ahead.
I want to say this real quick. I really appreciate you inviting me on the show.
Yes, sir.
This has been amazing. It's been fun. I really do appreciate it. I do want to say one thing before we go. We have already started. The campaign has started a Facebook page for the campaign. It is McAbee for Union County Sheriff. I invite you to go to Facebook, like it, share it. It's amazing to me. We've already seen a lot of support and love. We put it out in an hour, and there were over 200 people that liked it and came on board. So if you'd like to check that out, please do. Show your love and support. Go check it out. McAbee for Union County Sheriff.
Definitely. So if you heard that, guys, go check his page out. Do some research, vote who you will, but definitely look into Thom. Great candidate for Union County Sheriff. Some great points touched on tonight, I believe. Got a lot of questions in. Good bit of calls.
And I'll tell you one thing that it did make me realize that we've got to get a phone system.
We need a phone system.
We got to get a phone system. But there actually are apps for that. So, probably should have looked into that. But and I think everybody. I know we did not even get to 5% of the questions. The guys, I know we didn't.
But I mean, look at these major outlets on the radio. They only get like 4.
If that.
Yeah.
If that.
And you can call at any time of the day and get a business signal.
Right, definitely. Will you swing that camera around to me real quick? Because people were mentioning about the shirt, and I want to show people. This is a good looking shirt here.
They've been asking about it all day long, ladies. I'm going to do my best to get more of these for you. A huge response again, guys. I'm humbled by it. Supporters, family, friends, Union, I am very humbled by your support and love. Thank you. We got more coming, so thanks.
Yeah, they look good, and guys, I definitely will love to have you on the show again. Like I said, I know it was just bound to happen. With we actually haven't had any issues with Facebook and YouTube for a while. So it was, and I know it was kind of going in and out all day. The wind, it was affecting our business a little bit, but I would love to have you back on, soon, and let you get out there and get your feet wet on the campaign trail. And man, I tell you, as many times you want to come back, you'll be welcome. You just let me know, because. Man, we have so many people that's wanting to ask a question, and guys, I apologize so much if we got a lot of questions, but I wanted to get more, which I always do. And we started late, and that's my fault. That's why we went over about 30 minutes, just trying to get everybody. And guys, regardless of who you vote for, let's just make sure we have respect for these candidates, because guys, you just don't understand that. When you run for public office, when you put yourself in the public like he's doing, and like me and Mike when we do it, you get so much ridicule. I was called, racist for saying the word nappy. I mean, that is the kind of ridicule that you get, and it makes no sense. But people, if they get together enough, get enough people together, they can make it try to make sense. Yeah. But if people would start having respect for each other and not argue, not fight, we probably wouldn't have a lot of these killings, a lot of these, a lot of this nonsense that happens in our town.
Definitely.
And in other towns. It ain't just here.
Yeah. When you're in the public eye, your life is public.
That's it.
And to willingly pursue that, whether it's, for an office or as me and Kyle do it, just because, we don't get paid for this.
No.
To take the ridicule and to insert your private life into the public, it's gumption.
And it's hard sometimes, for us, sometimes, if we catch enough heat, there's some days I'm talking to Mike, I'm like, is this worth it?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really sitting here fighting for this person right here for being this type of person to me. Yep. I'm literally fighting for you every day.
Mm-hmm.
I take heat from every which way. And, and these people who running these public offices, they do the same. So I just want to make sure that we all are trying to keep it as respectful as we can. It doesn't hurt. If you ever want to talk to Thom, he has Facebook. If you want to ask him a personal question, you ask it to him personally. And if he chooses to want to answer that, give him that opportunity. But when you see something like that trying to be blasted in public eye, it almost looks like you're trying to tarnish him or belittle him, whatever it is. And we're not going to allow that here on the show. Now that call I let go a little bit longer. I know Lynn, I don't think she was meaning it in the way she was, but we're never going to allow it here on this show. And especially when we have other candidates come in here. When we have Sherfield come in, we're going to show him the most up respect. And whoever else may run, Mr. Jennings, when he decides to run, we're going to show him all respect. And we're going to wish them all best luck because, guys, let me make this clear. They are going for a job that has the most pressure than any other job in this town that you could possibly, any town. The sheriff is always the front of the line when it comes to anything because they deal with more than the county councils.
Small towns, yeah.
Well, I mean, even if you think about big towns.
I was thinking about cities.
Cities, you got chiefs and stuff.
And the
like
one
that.
thing you got to think about, too, is ultimately, as the sheriff, you're the head law enforcement officer in the county. And no matter what happens, whether it's lower rank, upper rank, whatever, anytime you're elected, you come with a stop sign because the buck stops with you.
Yep.
And that's the way it is.
That's it. Thom, I appreciate it so much. I know we ran over just a little bit. I think it's worth it because I'm telling you, it's been 99% positive. You have one or two that are still looking at other candidates, which that's just what it is.
They absolutely should.
Yeah.
You've got to educate yourself on a candidate.
But I can say this, having somebody outside of our current administration, there's nothing bad to be drawn on that. And when you're coming from an administration such as Chuck Wright's, I mean, that's again,
a positive.
I mean, so let's concentrate there. And guys, we're going to help you as much as we can to sharpen your vote, to make sure that who we vote for this time around is a person who deserves a job and not a...
Now, if a candidate don't want to come on the show, then obviously we can't, help y'all sharpen your skills to that person. But, we ask everybody, come on here, send your message out.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because, this turmoil that right now Union County is going up under. I mean, listen, this is about Thom tonight, but I will say this part here. We have a sheriff who's kind of had his hand caught in the cookie jar a little bit. I guess that's the way to go about it. He has been caught. It is in the SLED report. It is there. It is not made up. It's not fake. It's there. And we have a sheriff not willing to take that accountability on himself, but then has a zero tolerance for any cop to talk to the KC show. If you ask any cop, there is a zero tolerant KC show. And what does that tell you?
Yeah.
What does that tell you? You've got a zero tolerance for that, but what's happened in the SLED report is completely tolerant.
Yeah.
We don't need that no more.
So what are you training over there?
We're not needing that anymore. And I'm not even asking Thom this because I don't want him to comment on it. This is all me. But Thom, thank you so much for coming on. You know, like I say, I tried to get as many questions in as I could, guys. I really apologize. And I will upload. I recorded about midway through, just about right when we started. I started recording because, you know, the freezing and stuff. So the recording is going to be smooth, no issues. So if you want to go back and watch it, I'm going to have a recording put up there. That way it's a lot better for you. And I apologize, but you know, Facebook is Facebook and charter's charter. There ain't nothing we can do about that. But Thom, thank you again. Good luck on your campaign trail. I think you're going to have tremendous success. And hopefully we'll get you back in real soon.
Listen, it's a long road to November. I'll be back.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get you back multiple times.
Or June. I mean, listen, I don't think all of them have been out. We don't know.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's a long way till June too. Yeah. So trust me, I'll be back.
Yeah. We'll definitely have you back in and try to get more questions.
Absolutely.
Try to definitely get more questions.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Mike, don't work too hard tonight, sir. You look extremely tired.
Man,
I know you was
woke
up
up
late.
at like 6:06, 6:10.
I understand. And guys, thank y'all so much for the support. Y'all just sat there and went through, you know, internet issues the whole time. You know, y'all were dedicated.
We're gonna come up with a name for our fan or the KC.
Yeah, we are, because y'all were super dedicated, and it ain't about the show. It's about you're dedicated to knowing who Thom is and wanting to know who you're wanting to run your town now, and that is wonderful because we got to know who's running our town. So guys,
run with me.
That's it. That's run with Thom, and we're gonna see these signs up everywhere and see these shirts up everywhere. It's a beautiful shirt, by the way. So guys. Somebody did ask, do you have hats? Are you going to have hats coming?
I will have hats.
Okay, hats are coming today. He's up my alley now.
Yep.
Goodbye to your hat, Mike. Thank you anyways. So, guys, thank y'all again. Thank you for going through the internet issues. I will have it uploaded, hopefully within the hour or so. I'll have the recording uploaded. So if you want to go back and watch it, definitely take that opportunity to do so. Thank you again, Thom. Good luck. Mike, good luck to you as well. And Kyle, You're awesome like always. So guys, y'all take care.
That is what he says every morning in real life.
Is that what it is? Is that what it is? So guys, once again, y'all take care. And Mike, go get you some rest at work.
Yes.
Goodbye.
I gotta go pick my son up.
Thank y'all. Y'all take care.